All right. Hello, 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 and welcome back to another awesome empowerment session. My name is Brianna, for those who have not been in yet, and I am the executive director of the Wheel with Me Foundation. I just wanted to take a second to thank everyone for coming tonight. We've had a lot of the people on the screen have been here all week long, multiple sessions. We have speakers coming in to support other speakers, which I love. I love seeing everyone mingle together. So thank you, attendees, for coming back all week long, not only giving us your time, but giving time for yourselves. All of the stuff that we present is things that you can implement in your own life to make it just a little bit easier and a little bit better. I'm really, really excited to wrap up the week tonight with this topic. And a friend of mine, Shameka, I got to watch her present last year for my leadership group, and it was amazing. I was taking notes the entire time. I was doing the rituals, ripping up the things, the toilet. It was great. So you guys are in for a real treat. She's going to give us some really fun tips for self-care for into the new year. I have a quick little bio I'm going to share with you. Shameka Andrews is the Community Outreach Coordinator for the Self-Advocacy Association of New York State, and she is also the founder of Disability Empowerment Consulting, where she provides disability workshops on self-care, self-advocacy, and disability awareness. In 2006, she won the title of Miss Wheelchair New York, and she has been the coordinator for the program since 2013. In 2017, she wrote her first children's book called Butterfly on Wheels. And she shared with us recently that she is hopefully going to be expanding her writing stuff, which I'm so excited about. So without further ado, thank you so much, Shameka, for joining us tonight, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Bree. I'm so glad to be here. It's been a great week of speakers. I've been looking forward to this. It's nice to see some familiar faces and some new faces that I'm not familiar with as well. So I have some slides that I'm going to just pull up to bring you through some different things that I'm going to talk about. And then we can do some question and answer. If people have questions, feel free to stop me in between if you have something that you want to say. All right, so. All right. So can everybody see that okay? All right. So we're going to talk about some self-care tips and rituals that I particularly use. Again, anytime I say anything about self-care and rituals and routines, I always say find the things that work for you and leave the rest. You are in no way obligated to do any of the things that I say. These are things that just work for me, that I like to pass on to other people. If they don't work for you in your life and you don't want to try them, or you want to try one of them or whatever, that is completely fine. So I always like to start my presentations with this quote. Because I think as people with disabilities, it's very easy for us to get caught up in the things that we can't do. So I really like this quote, and it says, "I'm only one, but still I am one. I can't do everything, but I can do something. And I won't let what I can't do get in the way of what I can." So, I always like to keep that as a reminder for myself to focus on, okay, what can I do today? Even if it's just one thing to get me closer to where I want to be. It's just one step at a time. So let's talk about ending the year. We're just starting a new year. So these are some of the things that I like to do as we're ending the year. I like to have a release practice, what I call a release practice, which I actually do throughout the year. You know, Bree kind of mentioned it in her introduction of me of ripping up the toilet paper, and you can do this in any form or fashion you want to. So my release practice that I do throughout the day, throughout the week, you know, before I go to bed, and, you know, at the end of the year, is I write down anything I want to release. Is there things, there are people, there are thoughts, anything that I want to release. I write it down, and then I rip it up and throw it in the toilet and flush it down the toilet. Some people burn the paper. If you're somewhere where you can burn paper. I find that this practice has been very helpful, especially when it comes to thoughts, because as Jan Van Zandt, who is one of my favorite authors, says, sometimes we like to run around in our head without adult supervision. So the thoughts are going and going and going. So in order to get them out of my head, I put them down on paper and I rip them up. So another thing, you know, email. We get so bogged down by email, you know, and I go through my email folders, you know. If you're anything like me, you have like a bazillion emails that you said you were going to look at, you're going to go back to whatever, and you still haven't. So what I do is I look at what do I have. Okay, if it's still in that unread folder, it gets deleted. It doesn't matter if you know it's from the President of the United States. If I didn't read it at this point, I'm not gonna read it. So it gets deleted. It's gone. I don't bring it into the new year. It's gone. And I take time in my week. I schedule it just like I schedule an appointment. I schedule my, you know, anything that I have to do. I schedule time to delete and unsubscribe. Because another thing I have a habit of doing, I'm on everybody's email list, everybody's newsletter, I want to sign up for it all. Right? Yeah, for everybody. I want to do all the things. So taking time to hit that unsubscribe button. If I haven't read the emails and, you know, in the past week, then I'm probably not going to. So I'm unsubscribed. So, you know, just looking at these things. Also with clothes, you know, we have clothes going through our closet. I just recently said on a call, I went through my closet and decluttered, you know, still going through and got tags on things. I said, oh, okay, well, when I lose, you know, 10 pounds, then maybe I'll wear it. When I lose, you know, 20 pounds, maybe I'll wear it. Probably not going to wear it. Probably not going to, you know. So if you haven't, you know, at a certain point, looked at it, read it, you know, whatever, you know, it's probably time for it to go. So another thing that I like to do at the end of the year, throughout the year, I take pictures on my phone. Most of us probably do that. You take pictures of your phone. So I carry this throughout the year. But at the end of the year, I go through my camera roll and I look at all of the pictures that I've taken and think about which ones that I really like. What memories do I want to carry into the new year? And I make what I call a celebration board. So this says celebration 2020. And most of us know what happened in 2020, right? It was a shit show. But some really good things happened for me in 2020, despite all of the, you know, COVID and whatever else happened. So I wanted to remember and hold on to those things. You know, if you can't see this, there's words. It says celebration 2020 at the top, and there's 3 words at the top, which I would describe my 2020, which was fun, which is shocking to some people. Did have some fun, abundance and growth. And there's pictures of me because of everything that was happening with isolation and lockdown. I wanted to really focus on what can I do for fun? How can I keep myself busy? So some of the pictures you see on here, the first picture up in the left is a picture of me outside, going outside in my backyard after lockdown, playing with bubbles. I love to play with bubbles. I'm like a little kid when it comes to bubbles. I love bubbles. So the first thing I did after lockdown, and we got to go in the backyard for the first time, is I played with bubbles. Another thing that I did is I did a painted rock class. So you see the next picture is some painted rocks. And I painted these rocks and I put little words on them and I put them in various places around my neighborhood. And they said things like love and be love and you are beautiful and things like that. Another thing, the next picture is a picture of some amethyst, which is a crystal, which is associated with relaxation. So I always have a lot of amethyst. I'll show you, I don't know how clearly you can see me, but I have an amethyst bracelet. So I always have amethyst around me as a way to relax me because I don't know about you, but I have a lot of issues with anxiety. So the next picture is a picture of gold-stemmed roses, which I would say the best thing that came out of my last relationship. I had a really nasty breakup with a boyfriend, but the one thing that I loved that he gave me is my love for these gold-stemmed roses, gold-dipped roses. So I was finally able in 2020 to buy some of on my own because he used to buy them for me, and the ones that he bought for me I got rid of when I got rid of him. So in 2020 I had the goal of buying them for myself because I did love them. So that's what I did. And some of these other pictures are other artwork and things that I fun classes that I took about growth and healing relationships, you know, with family members, things like that. So I did a lot of that in 2020. So anyways, here's another one. This one is for 2021. And there's, you know, a lot of quotes on here that I took through the year, lessons I've learned. I turned 44 and so that's what this picture is down in the corner in 2021. I'm now 46. That was 2 years ago, obviously. I wrote some books. Wisdom on Wheels was a book cover that somebody created for me. That's going to be, that was my, the name of my YouTube channel that I did that year. So it's just quotes that I thought were really important. So once I'm done with the celebration boards, I do a vision board theme for the coming year. So I pick a theme every year. You know, some people pick, you know, resolutions and whatever. I like to pick themes, which is something I learned from a coach that I follow. So every year I pick a theme. For 2022, it was Trust the Adventure. So I had lots of adventures in 2020. I did a lot of traveling. Interestingly enough, I did go, I saw, I put seeing Shania Twain on my 2020 board. I actually saw her in 2023 of last year. and I'm realizing now that I have WrestleMania on this board. I'm actually going to WrestleMania this year. So, sometimes, you don't necessarily, accomplish the goals in that year, but I usually, within, a few years, the things happen. I also have, I mentioned a coach that I work with. Her programs are Alpha Femme, and that I've been working with her ever since 2017. So this was one of my that was my theme for 2020 too. So just some other tips and things that when we're thinking about our new year and setting up goals, whether you do goals or resolutions or themes or whatever else you do throughout your year, just some things I think that are important to keep in mind. Number one, be gentle with yourself, because when we're headed for a new goal, we're so enthusiastic about it and we want to do all the things and everything and have all the lists and whatever. Just be gentle with yourself. Try one new thing. You don't have to do all the things the first week of January. Just pick one thing. What's one thing that I can do today to get me closer to where I want to be? Move your body in a way that you love. For me, this is dancing. Dance breaks are a big part of my schedule. Taking time to get away from the computer and just put on your favorite music and just dance. It doesn't matter if you're a good dancer, bad dancer, if you can stand or not stand, or if you're on wheels or crutches or whatever you are. The point is just to have fun in a way that you love, in a way that works for you and your body. It doesn't matter what it is. For me, it's dancing. I love yoga. I just love stretching, anything like that. So just find something that you love to do. Alarms and timers. I have alarms and timers for everything. One of my goals, my theme for this year was all around health and wellness and healing. So to go with that, I wanted to focus on hydrating. So I have alarms in my phone that go off throughout the day that say drink water. Also, an important thing for me throughout today is keeping my mind focused on things that I want to think about. So I have affirmations in my phone that go off throughout the day. The first affirmation, my wake up alarm affirmation, it says today is going to be a good day. So that is, the first thought in my mind. I learned about affirmations from a author. Her name was Louise Hay. And she said about affirmations, she said often the first thing people say in the morning when they get up is, oh shit, it's gonna be it. And if that's the first thing that you're gonna say, you're most likely going to have a shitty day if that's gonna be your first thoughts. So I always try to really be mindful of what am I thinking about first thing in the morning, and what am I thinking about at any time. Being present. We often want to think about what happened yesterday or what's going to happen in the future, and instead of looking at what is happening right now, let me focus on the people and the things that are in my life right now. And it makes a world of difference when we're thinking about and focusing on what can I do now in this moment? How can I be more present in this moment, instead of thinking about all the things that I didn't do or have to do or whatever. And connected to that is being mindful of how we're spending our energy and the energy that we're allowing into our spaces. a sign that I have in my office, it says, it's a quote by Jill Bolte Taylor, Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor, and it says, please be mindful of the energy that you bring into this space. So that's just says to people, you know, I'm in charge of what I'm allowing in my space, whether it be my office, it might be my bedroom, whatever it is. You are in charge of what you are allowing into your mind, into your body, into your space. So, you know, really be, you know, mindful of that. Because I know for me, I often, you know, before I was really being conscious of it, I would have people that I would say treated me like a dump truck. They would dump their stuff on me and then they would walk out and they would go about their business. And I'd be sitting there thinking about all their stuff that didn't, most of the time didn't have anything to do with me anyway. But I was thinking about it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and depressed about it and sad about it. And they went on about their life, you know? So just being mindful of that, especially if you really take on, you know, energies and things like that, you know, that's really important of how you're feeling when you're around people and really thinking about, okay, is this person an energy booster or an energy sucker? Because sometimes we are around some energy suckers and we don't, we're not really mindful about that. Again, this is another thing about energy and what are we surrounding ourselves with? And so surround yourself with people and things that you love, that make you happy, that make you, you know, often we're around people that make us depressed or, you know, they're complainers or whatever. You know, just being mindful of who are you spending time with on a regular basis. And if you live with a bunch of people that you can't really get around, you know, away from, you know, what are some other things that you can do? Can you go in your room and read a book? Can you go watch a good movie? Can you go, you know, whatever. Making time for yourself. This is another thing that is hard for people to do, right? We got to do everything for everybody, you know, got to do this for mom, got to do, you know, whoever is in our lives. But, you know, we have to take care of ourselves first. If you're not taking care of you, you're not any good to anybody, whether you have a disability or not. You know, I always say self-care helps me to be a better daughter. It helps me to be a better aunt, you know, co-worker, whatever. If I'm taking care of myself, most likely I'm not going to bite somebody's head off for no reason. You know, because I'm tired or whatever the reason is. Okay. Letting people know what works for you and what doesn't. You are allowed to say no, even to people that you like and love. That's the law to break this down. You know, often I posted something similar to this on my Facebook page, and I said you are allowed to. It said something like you are allowed to say something about things that you don't find acceptable. And somebody said something like, "Well, what if I need help from my mom?" Well, that doesn't mean that you're not allowed to tell her that you're not okay with something she said or did. Just because you love her. I love my mom very, very much, but sometimes she says some things that are very, very shitty. And I'm allowed to tell her that, even though she's my mother and I love her. You know, there's a way that you do it. And you say, but you have the right to say no to anything, whether it's your mother, your brother, your sister, whoever it is. You have a right to say, this is not working for me. I love you, but this is not working for me. And this is the other one. Don't apologize for what you need and want. We often say, we'll ask somebody for something, people do this to me too. They'll say, can I get, and then immediately after that, they'll say, oh, I'm so sorry. It's like, what, why are you apologizing? Don't apologize for what you want. If you want something, you ask for it. And don't apologize for what you need and want in your life. If you need, everybody that is around me knows that I need 30 minutes in the morning when I first get up. Don't say anything to me. Don't ask me a question. Don't anything. That 30 minutes when I get up is mine. And if I don't get my 30 minutes, somebody's getting their head bit off. So that's the alternative. So I ask for my 30 minutes because I know if I don't get that 30 minutes, I'm going to bite somebody's head off for probably no reason at all. That has nothing to do with them. So ask for what you want and don't apologize. Decide you are enough for everything that you want in life, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, whether it's health, whatever it is. You are enough for whatever it is that you want and desire in your life. But you have to decide that. You have to decide that you're worth it. You have to decide that you're worth the health, that you're worth the time. You have to decide that. Trust in your abilities. We all have strengths. Most of us, I believe on this call, have a disability of some kind, but we have things, also have abilities, right? We all have things that we're good at. We all have strengths. So trust that you know what is best for you and how to get it. Trust yourself, trust your instincts, trust your gut. When you're going out there, you'll have different people that'll say different things, but you know what's best for you. And trust in that. And trust that you know. We are all a work in progress. My coach that I work with, she says we're all a work in progress. We are a work of art and a work in progress all at the same time. So, life is a journey. It's not a sprint. This we're learning, we're growing, different things, we're doing different things. So just take it one step at a time. We don't get it perfect every single time. You learn, you grow, you figure out what is the lesson, what can I do better next time? What's the next step that I have to do to move forward? Nobody's perfect. We're not looking for perfection, looking for progress. So the important part is, like I said, is to find those things that work for you. What is your goals? Looking at what is your goal? Okay, if you want to do the theme thing, I look at my theme, I say, okay, health and healing is my theme. So what do I need to do today to get me closer to that goal? Is it drink more water? Is it, plan out my meals? Is it, move for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever, and making sure that you have the resources to get you there, and asking, not only asking for what you want, asking for help, knowing when you need help and accepting that help, and not being afraid to accept that help. Because often, as people with disabilities, we want to be independent, and that's great. But everybody's going to need help at some point, and that's okay. And knowing when we need to ask for help and accepting that help. I know for me, this is something I always say I literally had to be hit in the head with this lesson, because I remember I was traveling and I was in a hotel room, and there was a box that I needed to reach that was on a shelf in the hotel room in the closet. And I took a broomstick and I was swatting at the box because I didn't want to ask anybody to get the box off of the shelf. And when I swung the broom handle, I ended up smacking myself in the head with the broom because I didn't want to ask anybody to get the stupid box off of the shelf for me. So don't wait until you smack yourself in the head. Hopefully, you learned a lesson and you don't do that. You know, it's okay to ask for help, to know when you are over your head in something, and being able to reach out to somebody and say, can you support me, and accept that support. So I know there was some things in the chat. I'm going to stop sharing and we can have more of a conversation. I can see all of you and we can address whatever is in the chat, all of those things. So again, like I said, those are just things that I really think are important. You can try those things or not try those things, or maybe you're doing things. I'd like to hear, if there's things in your life that you are using right now. Do you have any, end of the year rituals or things like that? Do you use vision boards? I'm a big vision board person. I do, I do vision boards for the beginning of the year and the end of the year, but I also do them monthly, and the celebration boards. So every month when I end the month, I look, like I said, at my camera roll, the things that I've done through the month. And I have a book that I keep. So when I'm kind of having a down day or whatever, I can look through that book and say, oh, look at all the cool things that I did here. Or oh, I remember that trip. Or, recently I was looking through some pictures I had, different times I've met different celebrities and stuff. And I was thinking of the girl, she was on the show Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And I remember that I had met her and I had took pictures of her, and I'm like, what happened to that picture or whatever? It's very interesting how things happen. And I was looking through my Facebook memories last night, and that exact picture came through the memories that I was trying to figure out what the heck happened. And it was from 2014. So it's very interesting how those things kind of happen. So, it's very cool to be able to look back and say, oh, I remember that. Oh, that was a cool moment, or, whatever, when you're kind of looking for something to perk you up a little bit. That's what I think is important. Bree, do you want to, because I know people are chatting and doing things. So I wasn't really.
Oh no, yeah, they were just kind of, as you were talking throughout your throughout your presentation, they were just kind of putting in some comments about different things you were saying. I know that Julie had agreed about, like, it's hard to say no. It's very hard to say no. I'm the same way. Learning how to give myself boundaries and space is something that I struggle with and that I need to work on. So that is something that I have been working on even since last year, but that is such a big struggle for me because I'm like a natural caregiver and people pleaser. So it's hard for me to put myself first, right? And let's see, there was one other thing at the bottom about vision board. Yeah, a couple. Chris does virtual vision boards. I mentioned that I do the vision boards as well. And then Tony said that's divine timing for you to find that photo right when you're looking for it. I love that.
Exactly. It's really, kind of funny, like when you're really tuned in to the energy and really, and how things show up or people show up, or you're thinking about that person, whoever, and all of a sudden they call, or stuff like that. It's really interesting how that all happened. I was gonna make a comment about boundaries. Oh my God, boundaries. You know, and as people with disabilities, we think that we're not allowed to have boundaries because, you know, maybe we need somebody to help us dress or help us cook or help us whatever the thing is, that we're not allowed to have boundaries with this person. And you are. You need them to help you, but you're also allowed to tell them how that works best for you. You know, you don't have to just let them, you know, do whatever they want or come into your home or whatever. They're there to support you. So if what they're doing is not supportive, then you need to tell them that. And you have every right to tell them that. You know, yeah, definitely boundaries. For the longest time, didn't have boundaries with people. I remember when I started putting boundaries around, you know, phone calls and when people could call me or email me and stuff, and people went crazy. People went insane. And then I started questioning myself of, oh, well, that person is mad at me. So maybe I should lift the boundary. But no, it's like, no, this is the boundary. I'm sorry that's upsetting to you, but this is for me. If you want to continue our relationship, whatever that is, whether they're a relative or whatever, you know, this is what I need you to do. If I say, don't call me before 9 o'clock, then that's the boundary that, you know, and if you have a problem with that, then maybe we can't continue our relationship, you know? So yeah, but boundaries are so hard. So hard. Definitely.
I really liked what you were saying about the energies too, and like kind of how you were just finishing off about how your energy is so important. I didn't start doing energy work until the last couple of years, and I started doing it more after living with Jessie because I saw it, right? So like I saw her being very intentional with her energy and I saw the outcomes of that. And I was like, wow, she's literally manifesting her dreams right before my eyes. And I was like, okay, I can do this. And I remember, and this is a story that I tell a lot a couple summers ago when I first moved in. We were on a road trip and we stopped at this restaurant for dinner and it happened to have like a little bingo night with a little bingo board and everything. And I love bingo. And I was like, I'm going to manifest me winning bingo. I'm going to win bingo tonight. And I just kept sitting there all night. I'm like, I'm going to win bingo. And everyone else is chatting. No one's paying attention to their cars. And I'm just over here dotting my little stuff. And sure enough, I'm like, I got bingo. And it seems like such a small thing that like, oh, it's just a coincidental. It's just luck. Right. But it's not that, guys. Like she is so right. The more positivity you seek out, the more positivity you're gonna get back. Like if you, like she said earlier, if you look for a crap day, that's all you're gonna find is a crap day. And so one of the things that I've been trying to do, especially now, because my life still hasn't leveled out in the last couple of months. So I've been just doing like a meditation every morning and every night before I even get out of bed. And the second I get into bed for the end of the night, is I put on this manifestation meditation, helps calm me down. I can keep, no matter what that day has been, I know that I'm like, all right, here's 10 minutes for me, for my future self. And it's so powerful. It's so powerful.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely believe it. You know, what different people believe in different things. Some people think it's kind of woo woo, whatever, you know, manifesting your dreams, manifesting your whatever. But I know what works in my life, and this has been working for me. So I mean, you can decide how you feel about it, you know, whatever. But like I said, when I've put stuff on that board, and you know, like I said, I put, you know, I'm gonna see Shania Twain live, you know, in Madison Square Garden. And last year I saw Shania Twain in Madison Square Garden. At the time it seemed like this far-fetched thing, like, okay, yeah, right, whatever. But it happened, you know, and like I said, on that same board that I showed you, I'm going to WrestleMania. That just seemed like this far-fetched thing, and this year it's happening. I'm going. So your beliefs, whatever, and not telling you what to believe, whatever, you can believe whatever you want. But I know it's worked for me. And like I said, we all have a choice, right? A lot of times, we talk about affirmations and how you want to feel and things like that. And, Louise that I was talking about, she said, a lot of people say, well, I don't say affirmations because they don't work. And she always says, well, if you ever said, I am stupid, you've used affirmations, because I am stupid is an affirmation. So you have a choice. You can say things like, I am stupid, or you can say that today is going to be a great day. You have a choice to say whatever it is you're going to say, or think whatever you're going to think. Do you want to think that today is going to be a good day? Yeah, maybe everything, you can say it, and maybe everything won't go perfectly, but do you want to go into the situation saying it's going to be crap and just expecting crap? Or do you want to go in saying, no matter what, it's going to be a great day, or I'm going to be okay no matter what kind of a day? Because that's a different mindset, right? Going into the situation, that's, I can handle whatever comes up, I can do hard things, I can, so it's all about what is the mindset that you want to go into the situation with. Yeah, my life's not perfect by any means of any, anybody's imagination, but I choose how I want to deal with the situation, how I want to look at the situation, and we all have that choice. Yes, your attitude, exactly. We all have this. Julie, you have your hand.
Put my hand up. I'm glad this is being recorded because I've already taken a lot of notes, but just, again, kind of some of the notes I took were around like, and I put it personally in chat, depending on how my day goes, and if kind of that negative energy comes in at night, I tend to like, ruminate on it right before bed. So I think, and I do it sometimes, but maybe I need to recognize like when I'm kind of like, clunked or right before bed, and do the, write it out and and rip it up in whatever form. And then just again, they kind of the affirmation, like you said, right before, right as you're waking up. It's gonna be a good day, or I got this, or I'm gonna accomplish this goal. So
Definitely. I mean,
um,
sorry, go ahead.
very much took some notes and looking forward to probably rewatching this.
Yeah, and definitely, I mean, anybody, I kind of went through that and whatever, but I'm on Facebook and all the things. So I know I'm connected to a lot of you, but feel free to reach out to me, after this, Facebook, I'm on Facebook, I'm on IG, I'm on all of the things. So, feel free if you have other questions or, whatever, because I was just kind of, going through it or whatever. But yes, right before bed, that was like a big thing for me, is keeping that journal near my bed, because the thoughts, the anxieties, the whatever, putting it in that paper, putting it down on the paper. And yes, does it come back, whatever, but it's that practice of, okay, I'm thinking this thought, and I say, whether you believe in God or universe or whatever the thing, okay, what is something that I need to get to release right now? What do I need to release right now? And I get a message, or something comes to mind that I need to release. So I write that down. And like I said, I do that regularly, especially before bed, because that's when it usually kicks in for me. And write it down immediately, rip it up, tear it up, burn it, whatever, however you need to get rid of it, get it out of your body. Because again, with the energies, what you're keeping in your body stores and stays in your body, and then you end up I ended up, you know, a lot of times when I wasn't doing these practices, I ended up with headaches, migraines, back pains, all of these things, because it manifests as, you know, the emotional stuff is stuck and stored in your body, and then it manifests as physical ailments, you know, whether you believe that or not. That's up to you. I'm nobody's doctor, but that's just what I believe. And that's, you know, you can read about that, but whatever. So yes, definitely. I think it would be helpful to you. You know, you can let me know if you try it and doesn't work or whatever the case may be. Another thing, I didn't bring this up in my presentation I do before bed is aromatherapy. I love, you know, some people have issues with scents, you know, so you have to figure out if that works for you or not. I use lavender a lot before bed. Jasmine oil is good for anxiety. Peppermint is good for, you know, aches and pains and headaches. Again, I'm nobody's doctor. These are just things that work for me. So, you know, you can try them, not try them, whatever. So those are all things that I like to use. Also, before bed, what I've been, one of the other speakers, mentioned, you know, regulating your nervous system, right? You know, I mentioned on that call, some of the other things that I do is I do the swaddle, you know, how you're swaddling a baby, you can swaddle yourself and wrap yourself really tight in a blanket. Again, these are just things that I do, works for me. Also, I use what's called binaural beats on YouTube. You can find those on YouTube. It's just like different chimes and tones and things that have a meditative effect on you. So I do a lot of meditations on, listen to a lot of meditations on YouTube. I also facilitate meditations, as Julie knows. Rest of you probably don't know that, but I just told you. So anyways, but I do them, and I'll be doing them in the group that me and Julie are part of. So I do that as well. So meditation is a big part of what I do as my own practice and share with other people as well. Yes, yeah, I've heard of like white noise and yeah, help me during, yeah, like different tones and, you know, like sound therapy. Yeah, it's very helpful as far as, you know, different things. Are definitely, yeah. The schedule, and I'll probably start doing them back on lives. I used to do a lives my channel, the meditation, find if you YouTube, just search my name on YouTube, and I can also send that link to Bree, and she can send it out to people if you want to listen to, rather you want to listen to my meditations. It's just, I have a playlist of some of my other favorites if you want to check those out too. Healing pads, yeah, definitely. Yes, I know a lot of people use the white noise and different tones and different there's different, you know, the singing bowls and chimes and different things like that that people use as well. Yeah, you're welcome. No problem. Yeah, anything, you know, feel free to reach out to me and let me know if you know, try some new things, or if there's things that you're doing that you want to share. That's, you know, I'm always looking for, you know, different methods and different things from other people, you know, that work, you know, positive things to implement in my life to get me to where I want to be. So hopefully all of this was helpful to you in some way, and feel free to ask more questions or whatever. I know we have a few more minutes.
Yeah, everything has been so helpful. Like I said, I took notes the first time I had watched Shameka present, and then today I was doing the same. There's just so many ways we can take care of ourselves we just don't necessarily think of right off the bat. So, does anyone have any final questions for Shameka at all before we go tonight?
Yes, Chris, you mentioned thunderstorm sounds. I was actually, before I came on here, I was listening to a rainstorm meditation. Yeah, I like the sounds of, I like waterfall sounds and rain sounds, and it's very meditative for me. So I like to find those on YouTube. I also like Insight Timer as well. I do a lot of I follow a lot of the meditators and instructors on there as well. That's another, it's an app, if you're not familiar with that. Yeah, I learned that I followed the coach that I follow online. Her name is Melanie Ann Lair, so you can follow her if you wish. She's from Canada. And I learned that from her, taking her courses. She has this in her her monthly membership, and she has us going through, she always says, live the life you want to remember. That's one of her quotes. So she has us every month go through our camera rolls and talked about, as you're living your life, taking those pictures, stopping to make a memory, and what are the things that you desire. Another thing that she has us do is called what she calls it 111 desire list. So we write 111 things that we desire to experience. So that's an exercise that she has us, another exercise that she has us do. So feel free to use that as well. But yeah, so I followed her for a few years and learned these different things, and going back and doing the camera roll thing. And it's, like I said, it's really helpful, especially on those days where maybe you're not feeling that great or whatever. And it just kind of looking through all of these pictures and kind of remembering, the different moments and different things like that. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Shameka, for sharing so many good tips with us. I really hope people come back and rewatch this later on and take some notes and implement some of these into their little routines and everything. So, well, this has been a really awesome night. Thank you for presenting. And I also want to take the time thank you for giving us your time. As a lot of you guys know, these presenters donate their time. So everyone that you saw speak this week, they just came, they donated their time. They really just wanted to make the community better, help you guys be stronger, more independent individuals. So thank you, Shameka, and thank you everyone else who had spoken this week. Thank you, attendees, for coming every single night, or for even if you just made it to a couple of them. I appreciate you guys coming so much. These empowerment events would not be what they are without you guys keeping coming back, giving us new ideas, telling us some new topics that you guys want to learn, which is why we like to record them, so you guys have a nice little library to kind of reflect and resource back to. So if there's any of these videos that really stuck out to you, please make sure to share them with a friend. If you know someone that needs a little self-care or some aerobics love or learning how to be more successful with your confidence, go ahead and send those videos out. Otherwise, I want you guys to all have a really great weekend. You guys will be getting more emails. You'll get the email for tonight with Shameka's recording and along with how to connect with her. And then in the very, very near future, we will be sending out an email about our next empowerment event, which is in April. So we are already getting ready for spring. If you guys thought we were slowing down, you were sadly mistaken. We already have that one already think halfway done in the book. So I'm really excited to share that next spring one with you guys as well. So keep an eye out for that, and I just have a really great weekend. Thank you, presenters, and thank you, attendees.
Thanks,
And
everybody.
have a good night, everyone.